Have you ever noticed this pattern? The person in the room, who understands everything quickly, often speaks the least. The one who gives the best advice rarely asks for help. And sometimes, the smartest person you know feels the most alone. This isn't a stereotype, and it isn't arrogance. There are measurable psychological reasons why higher intelligence can correlate with stronger feelings of loneliness. Let's break it down carefully. First, cognitive mismatch. Human connection depends heavily on synchronization. Conversation is not just words. It's timing, processing speed, shared references, shared curiosity. Research in social psychology shows that we naturally feel closer to people who match our communication rhythm. But individuals with higher cognitive ability often process information faster, detect logical gaps quicker, and jump steps in reasoning. When someone else is still explaining point A, their mind has already reached point D. So what happens? They slow themselves down, or they stop contributing. Over time, that repeated adjustment creates subtle emotional fatigue, not because others are less intelligent, but because cognitive alignment is statistically less common. And when alignment is rare, connection feels rare. Second, depth preference. Studies consistently show that meaningful conversations increase well-being more than small talk. But here's the challenge. Most daily interactions, especially in modern American culture, are built around efficiency, quick updates, surface exchanges, networking language. Highly intelligent individuals often crave abstract thinking, philosophy, systems, future implications, big-picture frameworks. When social environments stay practical, while your mind operates conceptually, a gap forms. You can participate, you can smile, you can engage, but you may not feel mentally stimulated. And mental understimulation slowly transforms into emotional dissatisfaction, which many interpret as loneliness. Third, heightened self-awareness. Higher intelligence is strongly linked with increased introspection. This means thinking about your own thinking, analyzing social patterns, replaying conversations, evaluating tone shifts. This meta-awareness is powerful. It improves decision-making, but it also increases self-monitoring. Instead of simply enjoying a social moment, part of the mind is observing it. Am I explaining too much? Did that sound condescending? Are they bored? That constant internal evaluation creates distance between experience and immersion. You are there, but slightly outside yourself, and that observer position can feel isolating. Now let's talk about independence. A large-scale study from the London School of Economics found something surprising. Individuals with higher IQ scores reported lower life satisfaction when socializing frequently compared to average IQ peers. Why would that happen? Because highly intelligent individuals often show stronger goal orientation and self-directed focus. They gain stimulation from ideas and projects, rather than group activity alone. They don't depend as heavily on social reinforcement. Independence feels efficient, productive, controlled, but human bonding requires repetition, time, shared randomness, unstructured interaction. If you don't need the group, you invest less in the group. And if you invest less, closeness develops more slowly. Independence protects energy, but it can reduce intimacy. Fourth, emotional intensity. Higher intelligence is frequently associated with heightened sensitivity, not weakness, sensitivity, greater awareness of injustice, contradictions, social manipulation, hidden motives. When you see layers beneath behavior, it becomes harder to engage superficially. You may withdraw, not because you dislike people, but because you see too much. That perception depth can create emotional exhaustion, and exhaustion often leads to isolation. There's also the expectation problem. When someone is labeled the smart one, others unconsciously assign stability to them. They assume competence, confidence, self-sufficiency, so support decreases. People check in less, offer reassurance less. But intelligence does not cancel emotional needs. In fact, greater cognitive capacity can amplify existential questioning, purpose, meaning, identity, mortality. These are heavy themes, And if the people around you aren't engaging at that level, you carry those thoughts alone. Now here's an important clarification. Loneliness is not about popularity. It's about perceived understanding. You can have followers, coworkers, classmates, even friends, and still feel misunderstood. For many intelligent individuals, the true desire isn't attention. It's resonance. The feeling that someone not only hears you, but tracks your reasoning, challenges your ideas, expands them. Resonance is rare, but when it happens, it's powerful. So what actually helps? First, environment selection. Instead of broad social circles, depth-oriented individuals thrive in niche ecosystems. Think specialized communities, interest-based networks, academic circles, creative collaborations, environments where complexity is normal. Second, controlled vulnerability. High intelligence often leads to over-explaining ideas, but under-expressing emotion. Try reversing that. Share confusion, share doubt, share uncertainty. Intellectual strength builds respect. Emotional transparency builds connection. Third, balance analysis with presence. Not every interaction needs optimization. Sometimes connection isn't about exchanging brilliance. It's about shared experience. A walk, a meal, a laugh at something simple. Presence reduces the internal observer. And when the observer quiets down, belonging increases. Here's the core insight. Intelligence increases pattern recognition, including social gaps. You see where alignment exists and where it doesn't. That clarity can magnify loneliness, but it also gives you precision. You don't need many connections. You need aligned ones. And aligned connections take intentional positioning, not luck. If you've ever felt lonely, despite being capable, driven, and self-aware, it doesn't mean you're disconnected from humanity. It may mean you require depth over volume. And in a fast-paced culture, optimized for surface interaction, depth can feel rare. But rare does not mean unavailable. It simply means selective. And sometimes, finding one person who understands how your mind moves changes everything. If this breakdown gave you clarity, subscribe for more psychology-based insights on intelligence, behavior, and emotional patterns. Because when you understand the mind, you stop blaming yourself for how it works. And sometimes, that understanding alone reduces loneliness.